Oh, hey, everybody, and welcome back to this third episode of Coffee Talk. Today, we have an interesting guest coming all the way from Israel. But before we bring him on the show, let's talk to our good co-host, Diego Barragan. Diego, welcome to the show. How you doing
Good,
today?
good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. I'm doing great. Like we said, we're bringing somebody from Israel. He's not just somebody, he's a very good friend of ours. He's like family to me. So happy to have him on. This is Lior Sofer, all the way from Tel Aviv.
Lior, how you doing today, my friend?
Hello, hello guys. Hello, good morning. Well, here it's afternoon, but yeah, good morning, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why we do it in the morning because the time difference and whatnot.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
just do it in the morning, so we try to see if Diego can make it on time and wake
I
up
do.
early.
That is part of the reason why I do it. I'm like, will he make it or will he sleep through?
You know how it goes every morning, Lior?
Mhm.
Hey, dude, you ready? And I'm like, yeah, I'm outside.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
that computer, and then I
And then you
run,
go back to sleep.
and then I go pee, and then I grab a piece of fruit, and then I grab a coffee, and I forget to put sugar in it.
Yeah,
But I'm here, and I
yeah,
was on time.
Oh man,
So
yeah,
classic mornings,
yeah,
like back in the days.
yeah. Pretty much.
yeah, we'll be there at 8 to train at the cable, 8 o'clock. Dude, I don't know.
Yep.
It's probably really crowded.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lior and I were there at 6.
Yeah,
Mhm.
alone, because the
Yeah,
workers weren't there still, and
yeah, yeah. And they told us to get there at 6, and so we got
yeah,
there at 6, and we're just
and we're
kind of
just like
sitting
looking.
for an
Yeah.
hour, and maybe we got on the water like 10 minutes before you guys showed up.
Oh,
Uh,
memories.
I've never been a
So,
morning person, so I'll say
yeah,
that.
I know this is new for you, but I'm glad you're being dedicated and you're waking up for this. So just to let everybody out there know, we can see your comments. So if you guys comment on the stream, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, we'll actually be able to highlight it. We'll be able to answer it. We'll try to do most of the questions and answers at the end, but I'll highlight them as I see them. So without further ado, Lior, what's new with you? Let's talk about life before COVID-19, before all this happened. What was going on in the life of Lior Sofer?
So before the coronavirus situation, well, I had a few like trips that were planned, like Asia, come to the US. We actually had a talk of a new project, me and Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, um, I remember the day Jeff told me, "Hey man, I think it will be a good idea not to book the flight because it's gonna look hectic soon." And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, 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 I know. I was like about to tell you the same that I haven't booked it yet because it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was like a bit lucky, I guess.
Yeah, for real.
And yeah, so that was the plan. In Israel at the moment,
Mhm,
it's winter. It's getting warmer now, a little bit warmer,
mhm.
but it was winter, so the park is closed except weekends, which they opens, but still it depends on the weather as well. So not much riding, but it's good rest. Do some exercise to holding my body and to be ready for the upcoming year. But
Yeah.
yep, now we all at home.
Pretty much. Yeah, I was talking to Nick because Nick was on the episode on the show yesterday, and we had a similar conversation where I had to give him a call, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you were looking forward to coming in April, but I think April's not going to happen."
Yep.
But yeah, we'll still do this, as long as things blow over and everything that's canceled for me at least in the next few months, as long as it doesn't get rescheduled all into September, I still want to do September for this cool little project we're talking about. But we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
as the
we'll see.
as the coronavirus and COVID-19 kind of perseveres. Let's hope that it dies down in the coming weeks, but you never know. We're just kind of taking this day by day.
Hey,
Yeah,
Lior.
hopefully. Yeah, man.
Lior, I wanted to ask you. Well, I mean, I've been to Israel 2 years ago, I think it was, and it was a
Yeah.
wonderful experience. It was amazing. I even got a tattoo. It says
Yeah.
"Hovech," here and
Oh,
now, to be
it's
present.
like present. Yeah.
And that could have been more apparent right about now. We have to be present. A lot of people are very anxious because they're just thinking about the future. The future, it's very unknown. What's going to happen? Are they going to open
Hmm.
borders? Are they going to open flights? Am I going to be able to go back to work? So we
Yeah.
got to remember to be here now, be present, breathe. I woke up this morning. I ran out here,
I'm
but you know
present.
what?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I saw birds rise up. the flowers, the plants, a little bit of wind, dust. So everybody and everything still looks very, very normal. And there's those little things that maybe I didn't capture before that now that I have nothing to do like before, I'm noticing, and that's important. But I was gonna ask you, in Israel, when I was there, I think I remember was like going to the market in Jaffa, and the
Yeah.
market was full of people everywhere, and people were buying dates, and people here are buying art and stuff and walking. And it's just very busy, and you can go and get chachuca, the egg, in the
Yeah.
morning. And that's something I love there. It's kind of very similar to the Latin culture, is where there's just a lot of people in the street. It's a very warm culture. Everybody's very united and very collective. And now with all this, I'm sure you feel there's a big change in the
Yeah.
collective, right? It's like there's maybe no one outside, or maybe not as
Well,
many people.
no, it will sound really crazy, but we are actually under a lockdown now. The quarantine got really tight, so no one is outside. Like all the markets are closed, which is kind of weird
It's like
to
eerie.
say and to hear, because like as what you just said like 10 seconds ago, it's like live with people and so many things over there, dry fruits and food and accessories and clothes and everything, and now is just closed. So there's a big problem now goes up in Israel with the economic, like companies closed and everything is closed. So it's like 21% people without jobs, and it's getting pretty crazy now.
Yeah, this creates an uncertainty. There's a lot of small market people that rely on what they sell every day, and now they're closed. And for how long? And that's
Yeah.
where this comes in again.
Present.
Yeah, but that's hard to do when you have a family and the economy is dwindling down. So I don't know, for all the Israelis out there, just hold on tight. Here, a lot of people are feeling it too, and Colombia is about the same, and everywhere in the world. But I think we'll get through it.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
definitely,
we'll definitely gonna get through it. Oh, hello, Nick. What's
hey
up,
We got a
Nick.
bro?
comment from good old Nicholas Davies. Hello, you beauties. Well, hello, you beauty.
Nice to see
Hello.
you, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually saw the your talk from yesterday, and it was nice to see Nick's going well and that he have a
Mhm.
tiny little family now, a
Mhm.
young
Yeah,
daughter, and yeah,
Aurora.
Mhm.
Rora, cool name, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Wouldn't expect
life.
anything less.
No, not yet. Still, we're still young.
Mhm.
At the moment here in Israel, yeah. So from today, the quarantine got a little bit tighter. So we actually not allowed to leave the house at all. Maybe
Wow.
once,
Wow.
maybe once a day, just to go to the supermarkets to buy food, because all
Mhm.
the useful shops are still on, which is like only supermarkets and food
Mhm.
places. We're allowed to go out for like few minutes just to breathe air up to 100 meters. And as you know, I'm a dog owner, so it's kind of must to go
Yeah.
with the dog until he's doing his needs.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it. I tell you what, this diseases go through by humans. So when
Yeah.
humans are not around, um,
It's
the disease
curving the
will
line
kind of,
now.
yeah,
Mhm.
it will kind of hold on and hold out. Yeah, so that's the plan of the government, and hopefully people will listen. And it actually looks kind of okay at the moment.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's not like it's actually a sad news. The eighth person who passed away from the corona today in Israel,
Wow.
and there's almost 3,000 people that got sick. I mean, it's not like big numbers, like
But
in
every
Europe,
number is something.
exactly. But
Every number is a person.
exactly. So it can be like someone's grandpa, someone's brother, someone's daughter, and yeah, it's really not nice.
Hey, Lior, I
Yep.
got a question for you. When you said it's getting tighter, the laws surrounding this, the quarantine laws, they're strictening up on them. What does that mean? Like when you guys, if you're to go out right now with like two people, is
Oh
there going to
no,
be
so
soldiers outside monitoring the streets, making
not
sure that?
soldiers yet, but the police there's like police patrols around,
Mhm.
and the fine like well, now no one is really work, so no one have a lot of money at the moment. So you don't want to spend it on unuseful things like as fines. So and they're really really high fines. So I'll say it in
Yeah, I bet.
dollars. It's around $200
if they catch you
fine
outside.
if they catch you
Mm.
outside. If it's like opening like shops that need to be closed, it's like around 1,500.
So what about
Uh,
grocery shopping?
yeah, only those are open, and you're allowed
Okay.
to go
Yeah.
in. You're allowed to go there once a day, and you need to be covered with the face mask and gloves.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
And keep your
in the
distance.
entrance, yeah, exactly. And in the entrance of the shops, there's the guard who has this electro fever detector or
Oh, he does
whatever.
the
Oh,
reading.
Yeah,
geez.
the reading. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
Wow,
hey, that's high tech.
that's
yeah,
good. We don't have that
and
here
only
yet.
10
No,
people at
no,
once, so it's kind of
no.
kind of hectic.
The two things here is that basically Miami Beach, Miami, and Orlando are on a stay-at-home order, which I guess is close to lockdown because you
Mhm.
can only really leave to go to the grocery store or do necessities. And then I know the grocery stores like Publix, they're actually installing plexiglass barriers
Wow.
for the cashiers, so there's no like
Wow,
you
I
can't
didn't know
cough
that.
or do anything.
Wow, that's
You didn't
actually
see
a good
that?
idea.
Yeah, they
Hmm.
announced it yesterday, but they said to install them in all the Publixes, at least down here, will take about 2 weeks. So it's not going
Whew.
to be instant.
Yeah, I went
Really
to
quickly,
Publix a week ago and it was
putting in Tomas.
crowded.
Greetings from Hungary.
Vamos!
Thank you for
Hope
joining
you
us,
are
bro.
safe, man.
Mhm.
Hungary.
Please be safe.
How are you, Tomas? Wow, that's very
Yeah.
crazy, Lior, to hear the whole situation there.
Hmm.
I
hmm
want to see how's your familia doing? How's your family?
So my familia is all good. I actually could see my mom. She live a few blocks from where I live, so I walked to her
Oh, that's
place
great.
just to say hello. Obviously protected, not something to be stupid or anything to get infected or anything. But yeah,
Hmm.
and the 1 meter, 2 meter rule away just to say hello. My dad, I actually haven't seen him in like around 2 months because before all the COVID-19 thing popped up over here in Israel, he went to Thailand.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and when he got back, he needed to go for 14 days quarantine by himself.
Whew.
Yeah,
But what
and
the
the funny
14-day
part,
quarantine by himself? Is it at home or
yeah, and at
okay?
his home, him and his
Mhm.
and my stepmom. And the funny part was, I remember because it was last Friday, and he finished his quarantine on Friday, and on Saturday, all the country went to home quarantine. So it's
Yeah.
basically, yeah, I couldn't see him.
The timing.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
how I feel like it's heading towards us for us. Even though we did 14 days, that's we're probably still going to be in for another 14.
Yeah,
yeah, and
Lior, here Trump, the news here, basically that they've been updating every day is Trump wants to open by Easter. He says it, but he's saying obviously that depends on what happens and if we
Mhm.
see the cases go up or go down,
mhm,
because the goal is to get the line
to get the
going
line,
down.
yeah. I
Because
tell
Yeah,
you
of
what,
otherwise,
course.
people these days are not really um, without no respect to anyone, right? Like, I mean, I respect every human, every person, but I think
Mhm.
these days people not really listening. And
No.
if the government ask, they never ask anything. They just take from you. So if they ask from you something, at least there's probably something behind their true story. And if they tell you to stay at home, there's like, wow, there's a big issue behind it. So yeah, just stay at home
oh yeah, that's
and
Absolutely.
for
very
your own
true.
safety.
Hmm.
Lior, I wanted to ask you a little bit like obviously we know you and we have a few friends that we met through you as well, like Moti,
Moti,
uh,
Effie, the
Effie,
kids,
the kids, and
Idan, yeah.
everybody.
Hmm.
They had
Guy.
plans. I know Moti was planning on getting married. There's just a lot of plans that I know everything gets affected now. How have you been talking with all of them? How have you seen that they've been
We have
affected?
the WhatsApp group. Everyone using WhatsApp here in Israel, so we have the group. So we stay in touch. And there's this app called Zoom. So we're doing
Of course.
the video conference. Yeah. Obviously, life got affected over here. Especially people who want to get married and family matters and etc. We'll see. Moti's wedding is in June, so we still have time. Um, but from what I saw on the news, like everyone else, people who get married,
Mm.
they do like in really, really tiny places, or like really
Yep.
small amount of people, just the close ones.
I believe
Okay.
even Richie Schuster's wedding was in Israel in June. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we'll see. Even for me, I'm waiting how. Luckily, I haven't booked anything, so I'm waiting to see how things kind of turn out before I book anything.
You were gonna
So
get
we're
married in
close.
June, weren't you, Jeff?
Me?
Yeah, oh,
No.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Jeff, yeah.
You never
In
invited
Israel.
me.
In Israel, in Israel.
Don't worry, I'm not invited either.
Yeah, I mean, private
'Cause in that
ceremony,
time,
but we're
yeah, in that
eloping in
time I was
Israel.
supposed to be in the U.S. anyway, so.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the good thing is? If you're getting a wedding, it's a shame that the ceremony and the gathering, which is very important, gets canceled. Let's hope it doesn't. But the love doesn't get canceled. The love is there
never.
with
The
Corona,
love is
without
there.
Corona. So
Yeah,
that's the good
we
thing.
can party every day.
Mhm. Yeah. Indoor party.
Indoor party. There's like a fashion thing. Like it started in Italy and now it's in Israel. It's
Mhm.
called the porch parties. So everyone going
Yeah.
to the porch and just
Oh, I've seen it.
putting music and
Yep. A lot of live
yeah,
music, people
a
playing
lot of live
piano,
music.
saxophone.
Yeah,
I saw
it
a
was
video of
nice. My
Spain.
neighbor, last evening, my neighbor just took his like huge audio system and put it outside, and it was really nice to listen to old school music, old Israeli old music. So it
No
was
rising
really.
dust. Dun, 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 dun,
Eh,
dun, dun,
no,
dun,
no,
dun,
not rising. That's
dun.
all. No, not this time.
um,
Some Eastern
By the way, we have
Israeli.
Devin in the chat. Devin, what's going on?
Yo,
You guys remember good
Devin.
old Devin from South Africa in the house?
Hew.
hey,
Yeah.
Devin.
Says
Hope
South
you and the
Africa
family
is
are
in the
good.
same boat. And I want to give
Ah,
another shout out to Anastasia. She wrote in the chat as well saying there's no wakeboarding for them in the UK as they are in lockdown as well, which we spoke to Nick about yesterday. So let's talk a little bit about wakeboarding. You guys mingle for 2 seconds. I'm going to pop up the video. Here, let me do it.
I wanted to tell, hey, Devin, you being in South Africa would be really cool to have a chat with you, and you could tell us what's going on in South Africa with the laws, with this whole quarantine thing, and how the family is.
Last time I was in South Africa was maybe 8 years ago. Remember, Dev, for the Europeans, the boy Europeans, was pretty cool. It would be
I'm
really
back.
nice to hear what's going on over there.
What is that? What is that?
Was that was actually
Yes.
technically
What do you
Diego
mean?
in that shot, which is
Yeah.
funny.
That was me wake
It
surfing.
was.
What do you mean going
Relentless.
relentless, huh? Wow.
It was Diego and Lior
Shorter than me.
Sofer's Relentless.
Yee.
It's my camo shot.
Yeah. So let's talk about when we met Lior. So Diego met you I don't know how much longer before I met you. I think I met you back in 2009 for the first time after knowing the boys for a few years.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we've been first we've been traveling a lot. We've gone to a lot of stops together, and then on top of that, we've just become like really good bros. I mean, I probably wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for Diego and Mark, which I spoke to Nick about yesterday, which is crazy. It's crazy how wakeboarding has brought us all together as like a little wake family, and even when we're not really, wakeboarding as much anymore, especially Diego and I, we're kind of not necessarily out of it, but not really doing anything other than the occasional wakeboarding trip here or there. It's crazy to see that we're all still hanging out together.
Hanging out, yeah.
So many years later.
It's crazy. We first of all we need to say thank you for the technology because that helps a lot to stay in touch and talk to each other and etc. And yeah, I mean, wakeboarding is still small. Now it's a lot bigger, so it's easier to us to stay in touch. And I guess it's with the new generation, they also the same, having friends from all over the world. And look, you from the US, I'm from Israel. Who ever thought about that? So that's like a really nice thing we got from wakeboarding.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. I met you, Lior, in Austria. I told Nick too. That was the first time I met him as well.
2004 for the Nokia event.
No, not that one. Mark went to that. I'm pretty sure that was in Hungary.
Worlds.
Because there was the Hungarian event. I think it was the Nokia event where you had that crash into the kicker.
That's
Oh.
2005.
That's where Mark met you. I met you
that's where,
the next World,
the
2
year
years later,
after.
2006. And that's
Yeah,
where I met
2006.
Moti, Effie, and the whole Israeli team.
So yeah, that was
Aubrey,
Nokia.
Roy.
Nokia in Austria.
Oh, that was also a Nokia event.
Yeah.
Good times, man. That was so long ago.
Wow. It looked like yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned the crashing in Hungary, because a few days ago, there's on Instagram this crashing challenge.
Oh yes, everyone's tagging each other.
Yeah, everyone tagging each other, but unluckily I don't have like new ones. So
You posted that one?
Yeah, a guy mentioned, hey man, why you shouldn't put your kicker crash? But I already posted on my feed, so I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to repost again. So I just posted like a different crash a year after that crash. It's a brutal one as well. But no one really, I don't know if people remember or know about it, but that crash.
Oh, the toe-side double S bend.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So
you got knocked out.
Yeah, but again, the theory was toe-side double S to blind, because I just learned that trick a few months earlier. And in those few months earlier, I had like the appendix surgery. And the doctors told me no sport, no water, no nothing, because I was allergic to some of the materials they used.
And you said, I'm going to do one of the most legendary tricks in wakeboarding way back in 2005, 6.
Yeah, I guess.
And what happened?
So my body was weak, and I don't know, I wasn't supposed to even compete, and I used just like my friend's gear, my friend wetsuit, or different friend boards and vests from someone else. Yeah, so even the helmet wasn't even on. So I don't know, I went through and I got into finals, and obviously I got excited, and I didn't play that well as I thought I can. But everything has its cost, and then they gave us the wild card trick, just like to show the people like a really nice move. And I thought, I just learned like a really crazy one, which is the total double supply. Why not to try it? And I remember I was digging in, and something went wrong with the release, and I just got into vertigo and kept spinning and crashed. So after a month of surgery and not doing anything and being in bed and not move, you obviously lose weight and muscles. So I was a little bit weak than usual. Yeah, it's
It rang the bell for sure.
Yeah, it rang the bell. I saw some stars. It was pretty fun.
Well, for all of you guys that don't wakeboard, when you're going about 22, 23 miles per hour and you're edging and you have a lot of tension on the line and there's a lot of torque that you've generated and you crash, the water is no longer water. It's like cement, and you can get knocked out.
Speaking of that, have you seen the comment that just popped up from good old Rachel Robinson in the chat? Diego, where's that rally crash you have from behind the boat?
Wow.
It's there. It's on YouTube if you want to search it. It's called Diego Gets Concussion, because that's exactly what happened.
Pretty much.
I just remember that crash. That's the first time I rode boat. I tried a rally. It's like a Superman trick. And when I come back, I caught my front edge. And I just remember being at the mall eating chicken. What's his name took me? Dean Lavelle took me to eat chicken, like teriyaki chicken. And I just kept asking him, like, did I eat? So we were wakeboarding today. And then they kept me up the whole night that I shouldn't go to sleep because the inflammation in your brain, a concussion's a serious thing. So yeah, I definitely had a few, just like you, Lior. Jeff, I don't know if you ever had a concussion, but you had an injury.
I've had injuries for sure. My first concussion was when I tried Rallies, which is why I gave up on Rallies. I was like, it was really bad, and you weren't there. No, you weren't there when I did it. I actually.
But I remember you.
I remember
you trying it, and I remember us just going like, "Yeah, no, you almost had it," but we were like, "Oh my god, he's dying."
Yeah. When I got that really bad concussion, I'm like, I'll give it a pass for a little bit.
What were you like?
We have Jeremy
Wow.
McKnight in the chat. Years later, I still feel the impact of riding Rickson and looking up to the guys like Diego and Mark. Wakeboarding is such a small and amazing scene. I miss those days. We miss them too, Jeremy. We miss them too.
Jeremy, that's awesome, man.
We all miss
Cheers,
those
man.
days, because
Yeah,
at the
we
moment
do.
we're all locked down at
Yeah,
home.
absolutely.
But to be
Absolutely.
honest, after years of traveling and now to a little bit stay at home, it's not a bad thing. But that's
No,
my
not at all.
perspective. I bet
No,
like
I'm with you.
people just had enough from their houses and just want to go home outside and do their own thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about wakeboarding in general.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So we have Tall Ben.
Tall
Yeah, I'm sure you
Ben.
guys know him.
What's
I'm
up,
pretty sure I met
man?
him at the cable years ago. What's going on?
We got
He
the
says hey in
Israeli
the chat.
family.
Yeah, one of the boys.
Actually.
Actually.
Yeah,
Man, well,
so we don't like to keep these too long. Guys, if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to put them out. Oh, and as we're saying that, good old Keith Ledberg. Do you even mute Mob 5, bro?
what's up, Keith? How are you? Oh
I'm
God,
fine,
I think you're
doing
talking to
okay.
me. In Texas, I died on a
On
Mob
mute Mob
5.
5?
I never grabbed it. I don't think I've
What, a
ever done it.
TSR?
Yeah,
On the flat
TSR.
of the kicker.
That's when I was on control, and I went around the corner during my run, and I did a Mob 5 and straight into a scorpion, and ding! I ring the bell.
Ringo bells.
We miss you too, Keith.
Yep.
So I'm gonna pop this off just because it covers Lior every time. But yeah, we miss you too, man. We miss everybody in wakeboarding. You know, it's unfortunate kind of the way things rolled out in the whole industry. But you know, that's why we stay together as friends.
That's it.
That was the main connection we all have from the whole sport.
Yep.
So,
The only thing we can all say at the moment is stay safe, everyone. Stay at home. Take care of your loved ones. Hopefully we'll end soon, and then we can continue wakeboarding and visit the US or any other place.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in too. Well, here, let me pop us back in. Let me get.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah, that was good old Diego. Maybe we should leave this just to see all the fun crashes because that's Lior. Yeah.
I actually was supposed to post that one.
Can you zoom it in a little bit, Jeff?
Let's see. Let me walk away for 2 seconds.
Yes, Diego.
That's me smacking my back.
That's one
Lior.
was funny. I remember that one. They stopped the cable. Yeah, God.
Breakdancing. This is bad.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling. When you know.
Yeah.
You have time to think about it.
I guess it worked.
Oh, that's awesome. There's a ski rig sound.
You know, learning new things every day here on the streaming software.
Learning every day.
I think there's more after that, or was that it?
What's
really bad is I made the movie and I don't even remember.
No, there's more. It's like the credits and it keeps going. Lior, well, if you're gonna come, hopefully this blows over sooner than later, and we'll get you out here in US, and hopefully I'll be here and we can go ride, go check out Shark Wake Park, Ski Rickson, the home cable in Miami, and do that documentary we're talking about doing with Jeffy. Jeffy's working on a new little project. So if you like those crashes in that video,
like those crashes, there'll be tons more.
Tons more. Like this one.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, I love wakeboarding, but as you guys know, it especially on the media side of things, it just doesn't pay the bills. So, you know, I definitely want to finish out one really cool wakeboarding project. I've been talking to Lior and been talking to Nick about it, and Daniel Grant and Angie Schreiber and Diego, and I'm excited. It's going to be something different and something the same. But
same but different.
Yeah.
Same, but same.
But no, I'm excited. It's really the whole thing with this project is fitting it in between all my work, because I'm working on that Star Trek Axonar project. I'm working on a sci-fi comedy as well. I'm working on a jazz documentary. And so basically, now that everything's been put on hold from COVID, I was planning on going into production for the wakeboarding project in September, But we have to see kind of how long we're in quarantine and how long it pushes everything back, because I was in the middle of filming the Axonar stuff when it all happened and I came home. So we'll see. We'll see. My goal is to still film it all in September, because unlike the last movies, we're trying to film most of it at the same time instead of filming it out spread across, like 6 months to a year. But I think, if we have everybody together and we're all filming at the same time, in a way, it almost creates a better atmosphere, because we all have each other's energies to feed off of when it comes to the writing. And then there's also the documentary aspect to it, where everyone can kind of pitch in their stories and their experiences with wakeboarding. So I'm excited. It'll be something different.
That's cool. Yeah.
Waiting for this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best.
Well, I think
All right,
I think we've come to a good time to stop the chat. Unless you guys have any questions, we hit 30 minutes, so this has been the longest coffee talk so far. But it's been an enjoyable
I'm an
conversation.
interesting person. I guess.
I have no more coffee.
Yeah, I have no more coffee either, and I need another cup. But instead of going to get a cup and coming back, I think we'll call it for today. But Lior, I want to thank you for coming on the show with us today. It has been enlightening.
Thank you.
It's been
Thank
amazing.
you for inviting me. It's been awesome.
Anytime.
Lior,
Diego,
stay
my
safe,
brother,
man.
my hermano.
And
Good
Neo
to see you.
Patach, I miss you guys. Please be safe.
Bro,
And I'll see you
You
very
too,
soon. I
guys.
know.
Take care of yourself. And wait,
Oh.
one sec.
Oh,
Muri.
we're gonna see her.
Moody, want to say
Muli.
goodbye, everyone.
Everyone say goodbye to
chilling.
Muli.
She's like a baby Chewbacca.
Baby
Cool.
Chewbacca.
That's me when I don't shave.
Yeah.
Baby Chewbacca.
Well, guys, catch us.
All
We may come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm working out the next guest. If you guys don't see us, we'll have this scheduled. I'm going to start scheduling these out so you guys actually can see a few hours before when we're going to go live. So if we're going to go live, you guys should see sometimes by tonight. If we're not, we'll come back on Monday with a new guest. Devin, who was in the chat, we were actually, Diego and I were speaking about bringing him on because he brings the whole perspective from South Africa. So it's great to hear everyone's perspective of what's going on and also what's going on with them personally, because it's good to catch up with everybody. For some people like Devin, it's been years. So,
Oh yeah. So far we've been to
interesting.
England, we've been to Israel, Colombia, Miami. I spoke with Carlo de la Torre. A lot of people know him in the industry. He's amazing. He's in the Philippines, and obviously in the Philippines, the situation
manager.
is hard right now. Yeah. So we're gonna have him on next week, and we're working on a few other places. But it was an awesome talk.
Stay tuned.
Stay
tuned, guys.
Stay tuned,
Well, I'm
guys.
going to end it here. Thank you guys again for checking us out. Again, this is live on my personal Facebook, but if you're not friends with me on Facebook, you can catch this on the Reach Films YouTube channel. So hit a like, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and we'll bring more of these to you. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.
Ciao. Peace and love.